Hey guys, it's your host Patricia, and today we're showing you 10 different things that you can do here in Asakusa. There's gonna be something for everyone throughout the entire video, so make sure you tune in until the very end. But first, let me get changed. One thing you can do in this area is actually rent a kimono. So you can walk down Nakamise Dori up to Sensoji in traditional wear. There's a lot of layers to this furisode. This is my first time wearing a furisode, which is the one with the long sleeves. It's good in the wintertime because it keeps you nice and warm. In the summertime, they have yukatas, which is a lot lighter. There's fewer layers. They also have kimono, which is I think year-round, but more towards the winter. So there's several different types. After wearing your kimono, they also do your hair upon request and maybe even makeup. But today I'm just doing a formal updo look. Here's the fit. How do I look? All right, just got changed, so let's go explore. All right, so we are at our next spot, Nakamise Dori. So this is a shopping street that has lots of souvenirs, street food, and it basically starts at Kaminarimon all the way to the Sensoji Temple. It does get pretty busy. There's a lot of tourists, but I think it's a tourist spot for a reason. There's lots to see and do. You can also try very local street foods. One thing that they're known for is ningyo-yaki, which is basically like a small castella. So if you want, you can try that too. But let's go explore. Fun fact. This big lantern weighs 700 kilograms. So although a lot of people take pictures right under it, it would be pretty dangerous if it dropped on you. When in Japan, you gotta try some dango, which is basically pounded rice flour, and it's all sticky, kind of like mochi. But this right here is Kibi dango. So it's a smaller version of the dango made with the Kibi green. And yes, it's tiny little dango. I've actually never tried this before, so I'm really excited. So this is coated in kinako, which is basically soybean flour, and it's warm. So let me eat it before it cools down. Okay, so I like that it's nice and warm. It's very chewy. It does get a little messy, but I think it's worth it. You get 5. When you order, it's 400 yen, but you get 5 sticks, so it's good for sharing. This one, they've added some sugar to it, but it's basically soybean flour, and it tastes kind of nutty, very earthy flavor, but if you add sugar, then it becomes like a nutty, sweet little topping. So if you're in Japan, I highly recommend you try it despite the name being soybean flour. You'll notice when you're walking around Asakusa that you can get some pretty sick views of Tokyo's Skytree. You don't have to overcrowd the same spot as everyone else. Get a unique angle. Right behind me is Sensoji, which is the most popular and oldest Buddhist temple in Tokyo. This is also the place where they have Sanja Matsuri, which is a huge summer festival in May where they have mikoshi. There's tons of people who gather around and they do cultural activities. So if you're here in May, then come check it out. So like we mentioned earlier, it can get really busy, which can be overwhelming. So if you're a little bit overwhelmed, then you can also come at night. I mean, Shaw also comes only at night because it's a lot less overwhelming, less crowds, gives you a different vibe. Next up we have Omikuji, which is basically a paper fortune. So you gotta pay 100 yen, make sure you pay, unlike the family behind me. Put the 100 yen into this little coin slot, and then you grab one of these bad boys, and you shake them up. There's a lot of sticks in here, but only one stick will come out, and that is your fortune. Oh my God, I'm a number 1. I don't know, that sounds pretty good to me. All of these numbers have a different drawer, so you gotta look for the number. So number 1 is right here. There's different levels of fortune, so let's see which one we get. Just take one. And then once you're done, put this back into this. Let's see my fortune. Daikichi! Daikichi is the best fortune out of all the different fortunes. Woohoo! It's an English translation, so that's helpful. So yeah, this is the number 1 best fortune. Your fortune is just like this tower. When you look at it more carefully, your fortune will be more excellent. So if you don't get Daikichi, for everyone else, you have to kind of wrap this up and tie it to a special place. But if you get Daikichi, you get to take it home. We're here at Suzukien, which is an ice cream store famous for their matcha. So they've got so many different types of matchas, actually 7 different grades of matcha, with the 7th one being the most premium. There's a lot of people because they actually have really high quality matcha. I've been here before, actually. I just got my single scoop of ice cream. I got the number 7, the most intense one. But this is a place to come if you're a matcha lover. Before this melts, I'm gonna go ahead and eat it. That is really intense, but in a really good way. If you're a matcha fan, I definitely recommend trying number 7, which is the most intense one. But if you don't like matcha, first of all, you suck. But Also, if you're trying to get into matcha, they also have the #1, which is a lot more milky and more subtle matcha taste. And if you're not a matcha lover, they still have great quality ice cream, so they have other flavors like hojicha or black sesame. If ice cream isn't your thing, they've also got some other original sweets and some milk warabi mochi drinks. Like I said, they also have other sweets, so I just got a scone. Let's try it. It's not too sweet. You can definitely taste the matcha. It's good. Nice and crumbly, moist on the inside. The only thing about this is they're only available on the weekends, so it's a special little treat. Now there are a lot more things to see and do around Asakusa, let alone all of Tokyo. And we know planning can get overwhelming. So if you need some help, Klook has you covered. Booking things in Japan can normally be quite difficult, but you'll be able to browse through activities all across Japan in your home language and easily use your international credit card to book those memorable moments you're looking for. Book your tickets for Tokyo's Skytree and see one of the best city views of Tokyo, or sign up for a guided rickshaw tour and experience Asakusa in true Edo style. If you want to explore Asakusa like a local, then a bike tour might be for you. Klook also has regular flash sales and seasonal discounts, so it's a good idea to keep an eye out for those on their website. Right behind me is Hoppy Street. So this is actually a street with tons of little small izakaya bars, so you can get a very local experience. You can try different types of izakaya food. They have monjayaki, hamukatsu, like all the izakaya things that you can think of, you can probably get here. It's also a little less crowded than the main area, so if you just want a break, you want to grab a drink, this is the place to go. There's also history behind the Hoppy Street name. So Hoppy is actually a low alcoholic beverage that tastes like beer, and during the time that this place was kind of originated, beer was expensive, so people just opted for Hoppy instead, and the name stuck. So I'd love to have a beer right now, but I've got work to do. So let's move on to the next spot. We're here at Kappabashi, otherwise known as Kitchen Street. Although you've probably heard of this place before because they've got lots of like kitchenware, tableware, really nice knives. But behind me is a store that we really wanted to mention and show you guys because you can actually get Japanese, local, authentic lanterns, Japanese restaurant signs. Like there's a bunch of cool stuff here that I've never seen anywhere else. So check this place out. This place is called Kappabashi Soshoku. I mean, wouldn't it be cool to take back home a ramen lantern as a souvenir? Japan has a very interesting sample food culture where they basically put hyper-realistic sample foods in front of the restaurant, and I think that'd be a really cool souvenir to take back home. So this place actually lets you make your own sample food. This is the best part. They've got food sample keychains. You can get a half-eaten onigiri keychain, hook that up to your keys or whatever. A takoyaki ball, that's a cute one. But why would anybody want a half-eaten chicken stick? I'm assuming that most of this is for businesses and restaurants, but if you are into this kind of stuff, I guess you could put this in your room. Right by Sensoji, there's a really popular melon bread store called Kagetsudo. As you can see, it's super popular with a line, but they basically sell jumbo melon bread, and some of it's filled with whipped cream. You can get it on its own. So we're here at the Tourist Information Center, where there's actually an observation deck on the 8th floor. You can also use their bathrooms. Quick tip. They also have a little front desk, so you can ask questions about this area in English. But on this observation deck, you can actually see the Nakamise Dori from like a bird's eye point of view. You can see Sensoji. There's also the Kaminarimon. And on the left, you can actually see Tokyo Skytree with the Asahi headquarters building. The Asahi headquarters building looks like a beer, and right next to it, there's the golden poop, which actually a lot of people think it's poop, but it's actually supposed to be a flame. Not many people realize this, but the flame is supposed to represent the burning heart of Asahi. We're actually in front of the Asahi headquarters, which is the building that looks like a beer. And at the very top floor, they've actually got a sky lounge where you can grab a beer and overlook Asakusa. The beer costs like 800 yen or so, so it's pretty kospai, or pretty good for your money. The only thing is, when we went up, there was already a line, so just be aware that there is actually, because it's such a great view for your money, you're gonna have to line up. But I think it might be worth it if you have the time. We, on the other hand, could not go here, but we're gonna take you to another place instead. So this is the place we wanted to show you. This place is called Not Suspicious. As you can see from the background, that it is a very unique little bar, and it's right by Sensoji. It's like in the back street, so very accessible. They don't have service charge. I think it's tax-free. So it's a really cool hidden gem that Shaw actually told me about. I've never been here before.
Do you want to be a producer?
He's got all these cool spots that I've never been to. So even their menu is kind of like DIY style. A lot of their drinks are very unique names. So they've got like a Shiba Inu, Huffly Snow. Yeah, interesting drinks. We got ourselves a Yuzu Fresh. Kawaii. Oishii. That's really nice. This place has kind of a cool concept where you draw your own thing and everybody who comes draws their own thing and then you basically put it on the walls, and so you leave a piece of yourself on this restaurant. So all of this is drawn by each individual person. This is mine. So those are recommendations here in Asakusa. The one that I really recommend you not miss is Kappabashi. The reason for that is because you can get souvenirs in other parts, but with Kappabashi, you can actually take those souvenirs and use them back home. For example, you can get the really nicely made knives or little hashioki. So I hope you guys enjoyed, but I had my drink, so I think it's time to go home now. I'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.